hello, and welcome to Tetas Podcast. Okay, so let me start with this. Raising awareness in Black American communities by collaborating, networking, and providing resources and support for African American women and men impacted by breast cancer. You deserve to be healthy, happy, and strong. Today, I have here Reona Berry, not only a breast cancer survivor, but also one of the co-founder of African American Breast Cancer Alliance. Reona, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Vanessa. It's great to be here.
I'm so excited to learn about the whole inspirational story of how you transform something that happened to you to this amazing organization. So let's dig in. What was your diagnostic? How long was that ago? Let's start with that.
Okay. Well, in June of 1989, I found a sign of, I would say like a watermark underneath my armpit on my breast, like a stain. A skin change, as they say.
So the color?
Yes, the color. It was variegated colors, and so it didn't hurt. It didn't itch. I thought maybe it was from my deodorant, but there was no rash, so I really ignored it. And months went on. It just continued to kind of spread, and by November, around Thanksgiving, when I was walking, my arm would brush against the side of my breast, and I felt this hard, painful lump. And when I was laying in bed, I felt it and could feel it. Felt like about the size of a walnut, and it was hot.
It was hard?
Hard and hot.
Okay.
And
painful.
And painful.
Oh, wow.
And so I had some health books, and I looked up what a breast problem could be. And of course, they told us that breast cancer doesn't hurt, but mine did hurt. So I wasn't sure. But as I was laying in the bed thinking about it, I said, with my luck, it'll be breast cancer.
And you say that to yourself in that moment?
Yeah. I had to prepare myself for the worst. And just because when people say, why me? I was just thinking, why not me? I'm just as good as anybody else to get breast cancer. So I had an appointment with my doctor in January. And so when they took a needle biopsy, there was no fluid coming out of the lump. And the doctor said, And from there, I knew that was not a good...
You saw that face.
Yeah, I knew that was not a good sign. So he scheduled me for excisional lumpectomy. So he took out the lump, and from there I had another surgery to remove any surrounding tissue and the lymph nodes. And so that started me on my journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that is a journey in itself.
Yes.
So how in that moment, and how you be an African American, how was dealing with this diagnostic of breast cancer as being an African American? What resources, what was there in the table for an African American woman who have this heavy diagnostic in her face?
Well, that was the challenge. We couldn't find information about Black women and breast cancer. And for us, when I met other women at the YWCA Encore program, which was for women that had breast surgery, we were all looking around thinking, am I the only Black woman in Minnesota that has breast cancer? And because we didn't see anyone else, no one talked about it. So we had no references. And I had a cousin. Now, she was 27 when she was diagnosed. And it was unusual because she was 27.
Yes.
And they usually, we all thought, breast cancer was a disease of say, 60-year-old white women. And it was not something that we saw in the public. No magazines, no articles about breast cancer.
Nothing.
No Black women getting mammograms. So we had no idea. And that's why we started, because with the lack of information about breast cancer that was not directed towards Black women and women of color, of course, a lot of women were ignoring if they did have problems or if they had a family history. It was talked about in whispers, don't talk about it, because cancer in most communities was called the big C. And so consequently, women would kind of quietly come up to us and say, you'll be okay. I had it 20 years ago. But no one talked about it publicly.
It is so close to what we're living in the Latino community. Mm. It is, as a group, the same. Mm-hmm. It's nothing that you talk about it. You don't talk about your tetas. You don't talk about cancer. If someone is like, even in these days, someone is in like, even in media, I'm very open with my diagnostic. If someone is in the media, like DM, like private message, Vanessa, I went through, but that is something that we don't, like, when everyone should, of course, dealing with this diagnostic in whatever way they feel that is suiting for them. But the lack of this conversation sometimes put you in a situation where, like, what I can do? What is the resources? What is the relation between this word and what else? In your case, when you get that diagnostic, what was the relationship between the word cancer and breast cancer? And what relation was there? Because you were like kind of my age. You were 38, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Where I'm 39. Uh-huh. So what was the relation that you have with that word? What did come to your mind in that first moments? Like, boom, what was it?
Well, for sure, it was, how long do I have to live? Because I didn't understand or know what the prognostic destination would be. If I was, did I have a year to live? Did I have 5 years? And I didn't know. And I think that was probably the hardest part of it at first. I was working full time, and it was something that, luckily for me, I had great medical insurance. But I would look at my family. They would look at me. We both looked at each other so sadly, because I would just say, maybe how long? A year from now? What? And especially since it was an aggressive breast cancer. That was the other part of it.
How was your diagnostic, your specific diagnostic?
I had a 2 centimeter lump that was stage 2. It had spread to the lymph nodes. And as my oncologist said, it was aggressive. And aggressive back then was just that word. Now they call it triple negative, so that's the word for it. But she told me if it goes to my brain, my bone, or my liver, there was nothing they could do. So as she was talking, I saw her mouth moving, but the words kind of floated through me.
Of course, it's like spreading words that resonate in your brain.
Right. I felt like a zombie. I was just looking out the window, and I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. And so I called my supervisor, told her I had to go in for surgery. They had to put in a port. They had to do another surgery to remove any surrounding tissues. And I told her I didn't know when I would be back. And she said, take whatever time you need. So I had a really great supervisor that way.
That's cool.
Yeah. But
God bless them all.
Yeah. So when I drove home after that appointment, I think I drove through a stop sign. Oh, I know I did. I was just on autopilot.
You was by yourself?
I was by myself.
Wow.
And that's one thing we say, don't do it by yourself. It's very hard. And I just needed to get home to my family and break down.
To break down and go through.
Yeah.
What were there stuff that helped you to go through, especially because, and I want to talk also about that, but especially in these moments where, like, decisions, what treatment I need to take, what I and it's navigate until all this decision when it's no precedent of navigate through this decision as an African American. So
Right.
what helped you there?
It helped that my oncologist said I was a good candidate for this clinical trial. It helped that I worked at the medical school, so the dean's office, I took my protocol to the dean and asked him to review it, and he said, well, this looks pretty good. So just gathering information helped me make decisions, and getting through those surgeries and then starting the first chemo. My sister was getting married in 3 weeks, and when I had my first chemotherapy treatment, my hair started falling out, and
Right away.
within 3 weeks, yes.
Wow.
And so I was afraid that how much hair am I going to have left? But luckily, I had enough to get through the wedding. Yeah. And so some of those things are the type of issues, life issues, that you're not prepared for. And so just getting more information, learning about the types of chemo, because I had 7 different chemo drugs at the time. And I was able to get infusion 1 week, and the next week I would have a little machine, like a little gizmo that was hooked up to my port that would infuse me. And they would just come to my job and do it there. Oh, wow. And so I had a pretty easy treatment plan. Yeah, relatively easy.
Easy.
Right.
With this diagnostic, guys, when we talk about easy.
Yeah, not so easy.
It's a lot. It's a glacier. It's a glacier. This little, but
yeah, and it's like this much is what's going on, and then inside your body, so much is going on, and that losing hair. And I had vomiting all the time. So I had the little pills, and I had pills for the chemo, and it got to the point where I could, like the last month or a couple weeks, I couldn't take that pill anymore. I was just looking at it made me sick. And so the doctor said, well, you've got 95% of it in, so you're okay if you don't take the last few. I was like, great, good. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the skin, because something that when I were in the Breast Cancer Education Association, it was a person that stand up and she talked about when we have extra color in our skin, then the radiation, all these treatment I have. Tell me about the care in the skin and all this situation they go through and went through when you take the decision to go through lumpectomy and have this after. You got radiation as well?
Yes. I did. Yeah, I had all 3 pieces of it. One thing about radiation for me, I had no after effects, no side effects, no burning, anything. I didn't feel tired. I went after work. I did my radiation treatments, got on the bus, went home. No problem. But women nowadays, and I think women of color, Black women, tend to think that we've been told that if you have a lot of melanin in your skin, that you won't burn from the radiation, but that's not true. Each person is different. The way they react to radiation is different. The way they react to chemotherapy is different. So there are women I know that are very dark skinned who have burned, 2nd-degree burns. It got infected. The cream or gel that they used. One lady had to go to the burn department at the hospital to be treated. Her burn was so bad. Yeah. So it's really hard to say what is going to happen until it happens.
Until it happens. It is, yes. And that reminds me, my mom used to tell me that, don't think that because you go to the sun and you cannot burn.
Correct.
You will burn no matter what. So it's true. It's true. Sometimes we really know this or that, and in fact, we all need to be aware that all these have consequences.
Right.
How, emotionally speaking, you were afraid, truly afraid, in a point like scared, kind of invade your heart in a point of, especially those early days, or how was it for you emotionally?
Well, getting over the shock, working through it. But every day in the morning before I went to work, I'd cry. I had to get the cry out before. I didn't want to cry at work, and I didn't want other people to feel bad for me. But so I did that to prepare myself. I'm working 8-hour job. And so...
and you didn't stop, like, you just go through what?
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't until the last month of chemo treatments I was really feeling weak, and it was starting to wear on me, and I was still vomiting. So I was in the bathroom at work, and my friend was in the next stall, and she said, "Reona, you want to go home?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh, yes, please.
And she took me home. And like I said, my supervisor said, "You have plenty of sick leave and vacation time. Stay home." Yeah, and recover. And so my family and friends would come over, bring me food, teddy bears, whatever I wanted. And my dad would take me to my chemotherapy treatments. And so it was a family and friend affair, So it was really, really nice. And it was heartwarming to know that I had people that were there to help me, and I could count on,
That is part of the beauty that bring to me this diagnostic, the overwhelm of love that receive for family, for friends, it's just immense, and you feel your heart so much in order to transform all that pain in something greater. And in your case, you transformed to the African American Breast Cancer Alliance. Tell me about that, guys. This is an amazing organization doing great things and partnered with so many other wonderful organizations there. So tell me about how everything started, because you are one of the co-founders of this beautiful alliance.
Well, thank you. Well, like I said, I met several other women at the YWCA downtown Minneapolis. And Linda Finney was a person, she was our first founding president. And she suggested we need to come together and talk about this. I mean, we're all under 45 years of age, newly diagnosed. And
no family history?
No, not for maybe about a good half of the ladies had no family history. And so with that, we said, Black women don't like to talk about personal issues. You don't talk about your business. You don't go to support groups and sit around in a circle and whine and cry about things. And but that was something I think we were growing out that we needed to talk. We needed to find out what's going on. Our hands and tongue and toenails and fingernails were turning black, and no one could tell us, and so ask your doctor, okay, why is this happening? Oh, I don't know. And, we had to put together information for the women that were coming to our group, because we started a group and we did focus groups. And we decided, since there was no written information out there for Black women, we had to write it ourselves. And so we worked with the American Cancer Society, the YWCA, a few other ladies. One lady, she was a doctor. And we just wrote out our brochure, and it's called Being There, because for Black women, and mostly women, we're always there for everybody else. And we put ourselves last. It's like, okay, when I get time to take care of this, I'll do that. If they're taking care of children or working or,
members of the family
Yes, it's all just consuming. It always falls on the woman a lot of times. So for women that ignore their health, then they're the ones that are kind of the linchpin that keeps the whole family together. And when she's out, then what happens? A lot of people don't step up. a lot of times. And she's even working as she's sick.
Yes.
That's the other part of it, So that's why we said you have to be there for yourself to be able to be there for other people. So trying to promote self-awareness, self-help, and making ourselves a priority is very important. So from there, our brochure was printed by the American Cancer Society, and they distributed it around the country to their offices. And so when it came to a reprint time, they were talking about, well, we're going to change this and do that. And I said, well, no, this is our brochure. We have the copyrights for it. And so the conversation ended there. And so from there, we published it ourselves.
Wow. It's like, even then, you need to keep, even in that arena, you still need to fight for your rights to have the voice in the way you want it.
Right.
Put your voice there because you were the one living it. So it's like someone else cannot tell you how you. So even there, you need to fight for this is what I needed there because it's it is. But the work that you did doing that, it have echoes and it still have powerful echoes over there. Where is the Alliance right now? What is the work you're doing? You are leading this organization. Tell me about what is the Alliance right now.
Well, we celebrated 34 years in October.
Woo! Okay, that deserves like a big. Woo! Are you kidding me? 35 years. Are you kidding me? Okay. So.
Yeah. But see, that's the interesting thing about it. Because we're so small, people think we're a national organization, but we're not. We're just here in Minnesota. However, we have brochures and materials that we send out around the country. And because of COVID, our support groups that we used to have in person closed. And so we switched over to Zoom meetings, which has really increased knowledge about our organization. Yes. We have women calling in from all over the country.
Exactly, because the access, you don't need to be physically here for get the information, to get the education, to get the support and get the conversation rolling. That is one of the good parts of technology helping us a lot with. What is going on and how we can support the Alliance, how we can support you as well, what we can be doing for put this voice of this organization and how I can help you, how we can help you.
Yeah. Well, we did a weekend promotion with another organization called the Anika Foundation, the Pink Ladies. And we went to St. Paul, St. Cloud, and Duluth. And it's a way to spread information about breast cancer in Black women. And because some of these communities outstate Minnesota don't have a connection. So we're trying to build that connection with them. And eventually, we just keep working it. So hopefully we'll be in Rochester. And it's very much informational, but it's also fun. We try to do fun. And we also learned a lot about the genetics of breast cancer.
Yes.
So it's, like I said, it's very educational, but we try to do fun too. Because, yes, breast cancer is serious, but you have to still live your life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to dance. Important. You got to eat, You're going
to have fun.
Right.
Because this is something that happened in your life, but it's important, don't let it to define who you are.
Exactly.
If it's something that brings me to, if it's something that, because your energy is so sweet and so pampering and so, and your smile, what was there more than that beautiful attitude you have, confronting this and transforming this, of course, in something great as this organization? How, what else keep you going in with such a beautiful spirit you have?
Well, one thing we say, we're the face of breast cancer survivors because a lot of times people tend to look, as soon as they hear you're a cancer survivor, oh, you don't look like you have cancer.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, okay, what are we supposed to look like?
Yes. That is one question that I all the time, because you look like, you have.
Yeah.
How but I need to start to ask back, what do you think a cancer person look like?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that image of me in the bed. No. I'm here. I'm living a life. I'm working on, don't let that define me. Just keep living my life. So that is, yes.
Yeah. And that's why we say we have to take cancer out of the closet. Because
I love that phrase. We have to take cancer out of the closet. I love that. We need teachers with that. We need teachers that say that.
Yeah, because if we don't share our information with other women, particularly, are they going to share it with their daughters or their sisters or their aunties? Because one woman, she was diagnosed in her 50s, and then her mother was diagnosed at 90. So breast cancer has no limitation. And it's something, yes, women do die. People die. We all are going to. That's part of life. But while we're dealing with breast cancer, it's okay to live your life. We don't have to put ourselves on hold. We need to be able to look into our future. And I said, don't make 5-year plans. 5-week, 5-month plans are good, but just make it something that you can achieve and you want to do. Because now is the time. Really, life is for now.
Now is the time, like for now. It's just so beautiful, and the way you approach this conversation. And earlier I was telling you out of air, these conversations helped me a lot to bring the hope and how to navigate in this. It's a roller coaster.
It is.
And sometimes I'm like, sometimes when you say in the car, just crying to my in the way to work. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay. I get it here. Okay. Hi, everyone. It is a roller coaster, but these conversations are conversations of hope, of look at you, and it's what you say. Yeah, diagnostics are different, prognosis are different, but be educated that cancer. I learned very recently the cancers stage 1 to 3 are curable. Stage 4 is manageable.
Right.
That is something that I didn't know in the beginning. For me, it was like, cancer, die. How you say, how long? The same, they come to your mind. So have the education of all these, have these conversations, are conversations of hope. Get the cancer out of the closet in order to be more educated, in order to get early detection. That is super important.
Right.
I feel I can talk to you for decades. We can be here forever. But all good conversations need to come to the end. So before we go, it's a 5 little questions that I make. It's they're fun. They're let me find it over here in all my notes. I have so many notes, guys. And then it's conversations it's a questions just for, take a little out of this. Here we go. Did I find it? Yes. Here we go. Okay. One word in another language that is your favorite word that is not in English. One word.
Reina.
I love it. It's close to your name too. So it's perfect. Eres una reina. In one word, what is your superpower? It can be 2 or 3. I can think in 10 words for her.
I would say trying to find the good in anything. There's bad and good to everything, but trying to find it, sometimes it's hard, but this happened for a reason.
Yes.
And so turn it into something positive.
Yes. Amen. 3, if you could be an animal, what animal you will be? Ooh, what animal you will be?
Okay, I like cats, so I'd probably be a cat.
Cats! Cats are so sweet. And they don't request that much attention as a dog. So that is Yeah, I like it.
And they're independent too.
Yes, it's kind of, it's like it's there, it's give you love, but not but cats are beautiful creatures. Well, we like dogs too.
Yes,
for
we
all
do.
my dog people, yes. But cats, yeah, we're really into cats or something. Number 4, what is your favorite place? Can be a place, can be anywhere, can be, what is the favorite place for you?
Well, I've never really traveled that much. I would say when I was growing up, Chicago was a favorite place for me. Yeah. But when I travel, I want to come back home to Minnesota.
So you can say your favorite place is home.
Yeah.
It's Minnesota.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes. We have a combination there. The last question is one thing that you are grateful today in your life.
Well, I'm grateful because I was diagnosed a second time in 2019. And at the time, my surgeon said we can't save the breast because there were 3 tumors in the breast. And I was okay with that, and to have a mastectomy. So I was grateful for being able to make that decision without a lot of fear. I did it for the best of my health, for me. I wasn't concerned about saving this breast. You
were concerned about saving your life.
Exactly.
And you take a educated decision.
Yes.
Because that is the same. I get my mastectomy with that, with having the feeling of saving my life.
Right.
Not saving my teta.
Right.
It's just the essence of me.
Yeah.
You are admirable. Let's close with your favorite quote. What is one quote there that resonate, vibrate in your heart?
I would say we are our inspirations, our motivations, our strengths in our survivorship. And we all have it. And that's kind of what I live by. And I hope I share with other women too. And men that have breast cancer.
Thank you so much for that and for all your inspiration. Guys, this is amazing. Have you here? It's been such a great thing. Thank you so much to you guys to listen and to be in your heart in these conversations. They help us with the resilience that is in all of us, as Reona say. Thank you so much, guys. NBC. No relation to NBC.